To be or not to be? That is the question, ladies and gentlemen. The question about vaccination, the hottest topic going right now on the entire face of the earth. And I am talking to everyone on the face of the earth right now. Are you planning to get vaxxed? Are you already vaxxed? And if you're not, are there religious reasons or are there medical reasons? I'd like to know. I'd like to also find out why would you not get the information you need to if you have some skepticism about the vaccination. To be or not to be? That is the question I will ask you coming up next on the fabulous Forum Factor.
Want to hear something fabulous? Broadcast in a forum and full of facts? Well, you've come to the right place. It's the Fabulous Forum Factor podcast with all its pizzazz. And now here's your host, Mr. Kenneth Moultrie.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Fabulous Forum Factor. And I'm your host, Mr. Kenneth Moultrie, and I want to thank you for listening. Thank you for all your support you've given to me over the last 8 or 9 months as I rapidly approach episode number 100. I think I'm somewhere around 92 or 93. And as I said before, I plan to do something special on that landmark 100 episode that I'm going to produce probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So once again, thank you for all of your support. And I also like to continue to ask you to like, follow, subscribe, comment, and share any episode I produce of the Fabulous Forum Factor with your social media family. So, ladies and gentlemen, this topic of the vaccination that we're going through, whether you should get it, whether you shouldn't, whether you should share if you got it, whether you should share if you didn't get it, or if you decide that you're not going to get it. This is all over the place, ladies and gentlemen. It's like, this is like pulling teeth. You have, a lot of it has been politicized, trying to say that, there's some kind of conspiracy going on that's going to try to take away our freedom. Now, it's really weird that, people have went down that slippery slope, because we are playing with lives. We're not talking about, if you just have to show a card or ID to get into a restaurant for a drink. This is a life challenging method. And, people obviously have lost their lives behind it. And I'm going to tell you, at first, we didn't know anything about it. This is an unprecedented situation, ladies and gentlemen. This is deeper than SARS or the measles or Ebola or any of that kind of stuff. This is going to be around for generations. This pandemic is not going anywhere. We're going to be getting booster shots like the flu shot, and every 5 years like the pneumonia shot, all the time. Trust me on this. And like I can say, I remember when this first came about in February of 2020, it just started to progress. And, I would have people ask me, do you know anyone that's had COVID? And I can honestly say, no, I didn't. So it was almost kind of like someone can ask you, do you know someone who's had the flu in the past 3 or 4 months? And the answer would be, again, no. So that kind of put me on the same wavelength, like saying like, okay, well, yeah, it's out there, but it's not really happening to a widespread of individuals, because I would know someone with them, right? But that was the first 3, 4, 5, or 6 months. Now that the vaccine has come out and we are now in a year and a half, I would say that more than half the people I know now have had COVID. Either have it now, had a bout with it, or tested positive for it. So this thing is real, folks. And I know that most of you out there believe it is, because I know and trust that most of you out there are vaccinated. And I'll just let you know that, yes, I am vaccinated. I just got vaccinated, my second shot. And I had some other medical reasons why I did not. According to my doctor, he advised me not to, not because we didn't believe or he didn't believe in the vaccine, but like I said, it was a compromising dose probably for the condition that I was experiencing. But once that lifted, he advised me to go down immediately and schedule for both shots. So that's what I did. So, like I said, this is such a hot topic, ladies and gentlemen, because it has become not only political, it's become personal. And now, as you know, restaurants and a lot of these other entertainment facilities and venues are now requiring that you prove that you have the vaccine and both doses. So that's where people are coming on board and saying that, this is not how America's supposed to work. This is not a communist country. And you're taking away the rights of our freedom. You're making guinea pigs out of us. We're experimental rats. All this stuff is coming down the pike, and you got people who are not very educated, or who do, even if they try to research the situation, they probably wouldn't understand it. So they're just going to err on the side of what they hear people saying around their community. And you have a lot of lower income people who do not have the proper means to listen and to gather that particular information. They're going to err on the side of like, where did this come from? Where did this vaccine come from in 6 months? I don't trust it. I'm not going to let my family members get it, or I'm not going to get anybody that I know close to me advise them to get it, and I'm not going to get it. So that's how it's going to run in that particular part. Now, it's kind of weird that a lot of people were saying that, it hit certain communities harder than others, which is absolutely true. But now that we have a vaccine, there's so much skepticism about it and how dangerous it can be. And you still have people going to the hospital on ventilators who are fully vaxxed. And I have an answer for that. And the answer to that, ladies and gentlemen, is that, first of all, the vaccine has been proven, it has been reported that the main percentage, or the higher end percentage of the vaccine, means that it is going to keep you out of the hospital or a serious situation. Now, will there be some cases where people actually die that are fully vaccinated? Yes. But we are not all the same, folks. We do not have the same tempo. We do not have the same inner scope of the foods and the vitamins and the nutrients that we interject into our body. So our bodies are going to react differently just because we're different. And now you throw on top of it, you throw all the other things that we put in our bodies. So obviously, a person who's double vaxxed compared to another person who's double vaxxed, depending on where they go, depending on what they do, they might not wash their hands as much. They might not mask as much. There's just so many different factors. You cannot compare two people who got vaxxed who live in Springfield, Illinois, and two people who got vaxxed who live in Walla Walla, Washington. It's going to be different, right? You're going to have a different reaction. You're going to have different results. But overall, it's supposed to, and it has been proven that if you are double vaxxed and you continue to treat your body and strengthen your body with those things I mentioned earlier, you should be just fine. Now, when I got my vax, probably like other people did, the medical staff there, they advised everybody, and they kept advising everybody to hydrate, okay? Keep hydrated. So I remember for the very first shot, I brought I have this big, large water container. It keeps it really cold. And I drank a whole one of those before I even vaxxed that day. So I had an appointment at noon. I drank that water as I was waiting. Actually, I finished it right before I went in. And I mean, it must have been, I think it's like about 70 is it liters or not gallons? It's liters of water, but it's a whole lot of water, right? So I had that, and when I came out of that from the first vaccination, I went to the store and I picked up some Pedialyte, some very high in the stuff that keeps you hydrated, and this was actually 33% more with this particular brand of or Pedialyte or flavor of Pedialyte that I bought. So continue to do that and to continue all week. I cut out alcohol, cut out sugar, and then in 3 weeks later I have my second shot appointment came up. I got that, so none of that time did I intake any alcohol. I even cut out strenuous exercise, and I exercise a lot, and I cut out strenuous exercise based upon I did not want to get dehydrated, even though I had the water to back it up and I hydrate before I go hiking or whatever I do. I did not want to even get to that point to where my alarm went off to tell my system that I was dehydrated. So I just didn't do any strenuous exercise. So I Pedialyte and water, and I take a double zinc pill every day. So I am just trying to prepare my temple for anything for it to fight off and to have help to fight it off with my normal immune system and with the double vaccination. So like I say, how many people are doing exactly that? There's people out there that are doing more than that. And we are different people, as I said. So we're going to react differently. Some people are just got the shots, took off the mask, stop sanitizing their hands, stop sanitizing surfaces, stop washing their hands as much. And they just thought all was fine because they did not have the entire information on what the ramifications would be if you became sick with the vaccination. So you having all these anti-vax people on the internet talking about they know people who are vaxxed and they died anyway, and there's reports or studies that's come out that say that it increases heart attack and blood clots and stuff like that. Now, I did hear of people who've gotten that, but once again, we have 336 million people, right, in this country. Okay, so of course there's going to be some situations to where it's not going to work out. That's just how it's going to go. Every situation is not going to be, all rosy. So, but I'm just kind of flabbergasted, ladies and gentlemen, about how people are so skeptical when it's something that they complained about getting the vaccination or it coming out too quick. And then now it's unavailable for them, then, they'll have a problem taking it. Well, I have a couple of scenarios I want to run by you so you can kind of get where I'm going with this and what I mean about how a lot of times the government or some people can make a situation or decide for you for the betterment of the population. If you are on a jetliner going from New York to Los Angeles, and the jetliner is hijacked and it's commandeered, it's taken over by terrorists, and you have 300 people, 300 souls on that jetliner, the government and the commandeer is going to say, look, we're going to aim this for the White House, or we're going to aim this for the middle of Los Angeles or Chicago. The government, the president in particular, will make a decision to scramble some F-16 fighter jets from Scott Air Force Base or wherever the closest Air Force Base is, and to shoot that jetliner down, killing all 300 people aboard for saving the lives of 3 million people who lives in Chicago. Okay? So sometimes the government has the power to make that decision. And it's not just about you, it's about what you are doing or what you have the potential to do to others. So the fact of the matter is, if you don't want to get vaccinated and then you're going to be sacrificing all these niceties you have, like going to restaurants, sooner or later it's going to be that way. If you want to travel, get on a cruise ship or get on an airliner. Yeah, the government has to make that decision, because if you are going to infect others and you don't care, then they're not going to have that, because it's been proven, at least to the fact to where it's popular belief that that is the best way not only to keep people safe, but to